My name is Oliver Gottschalg. I'm professor at HEC Paris and serve as the academic dean of the TRIUM Executive MBA program. I'm also founder and head of research of Parax, a specialized private equity analytics firm advising institutional investors in finding good investment opportunities in private equity. There's nothing more powerful than learning by doing. Novel techniques related to artificial intelligence, machine learning. They created what would be called today a blue ocean strategy by creating that market space.
Hello, Oliver. Thank you for being here at Startup Vision. You are a professor at HEC Paris and you are also the academic dean for TRIUM. And if we speak about TRIUM, which is an executive MBA, it's sort of an entrepreneurial venture when it started and still now.
Certainly, yes. Surprising to many, three very established and prestigious institutions got together almost 20 years ago and created TRIUM based on the notion that in order to build a top-notch global executive MBA program, the schools have to pool the resources. And this from the outset was a very entrepreneurial initiative based off context between the three schools who got together and created TRIUM a little bit as a laboratory, not in the sense that students are guinea pigs, but in the sense that the three schools will bring their best resources together and try to find novel ways to teach, novel ways to deliver essential state-of-the-art knowledge to a very, very demanding, prestigious audience.
And it was very new at the time because, you know, we're talking about NYU Stern, LSE, London School of Economics, and HEC Paris. It was a very new thing to do a global executive MBA, which evolved after that. So
absolutely, the creators of TRIUM, which preceded me obviously, had a great foresight that a executive degree was really necessary with a truly global set of DNA. And if you look at the history of TRIUM, we can really say they created what would be called today a blue ocean strategy by creating that market space for a global offering in the EMBA space by different schools delivered in different locations. And obviously, based on the starting momentum, TRIUM continues to evolve with a great level of entrepreneurial DNA inside. The curriculum is regularly revised. We try to push the boundaries by more recently integrating more elements of technological megatrends, building other themes that we consider relevant for our audience in the next 20 years into the program. And the schools allow the program to have that degrees of freedom to experiment and then in turn try to learn from what's happening at TRIUM for other programs in all three schools.
So now we'll go into your research, your personal research on private equity and venture capital. Can you tell us about it?
Certainly. I've been looking at these two asset classes, venture capital, private equity, empirically for the last 20 years. And I'm trying to understand better, in essence, what can we learn about the average performance in private equity, drivers of performance, drivers of risk in the asset class. And as part of this, had a couple of opportunities to be involved as an entrepreneur myself, because I piloted almost a decade ago the first ever ranking of private equity funds in the Wall Street Journal, which tries to give people orientation about who the best players are, mostly in the buyout space, but also in venture capital. And that obviously created opportunities as investors were looking to apply the type of methodologies from my research. So almost a decade ago, I take a sabbatical from this academic responsibilities and took a year to build out a company as an entrepreneur myself, building the team around that initial methodology, and since then offering those type of services to investors looking for good investment opportunities, i.e. fund commitments in private equity, but also helping the fund managers themselves try to demonstrate their differential way to create value to the investor community.
And I think it was great that you became an entrepreneur yourself, because knowing what it is, you know, you understand much better what are the needs, what people are looking for.
Absolutely, but at the same time, it makes you very sober, because somebody who's been teaching entrepreneurship for almost a decade, you kind of think you know it all, but
yes.
Often when I'm in startup mode, I look at myself as well, actually, this is exactly the fallacy that you're aware of. This is exactly what you try to learn from the great testimonials of guest speakers who ring in the classroom, but there's nothing more powerful than learning by doing. So I can say by now I probably have done a fair amount of those mistakes myself, and they just make you stronger as an entrepreneur, and at the same time they give you richer context to teach entrepreneurship to students who want to understand that for their own ventures.
So what's next for you, Oliver, now?
Well, the most fascinating piece of research that I'm currently conducting is actually trying to apply novel techniques related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, to my empirical data set of private equity. I do have the vision that this asset class, like many other areas of finance, are going to integrate those novel techniques. And if the school ever lets me to take another sabbatical, I'll probably try to push the boundaries and bring those techniques to investment decision making in the private equity arena.
What a project. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure.